Oh man. Ooh man, Jesus Christ, man. Mr. Z is hilarious to me some days. Some days we are just hilarious. I tell you what, man. People want to talk about gynocentric, man. That gynocracy ain't it a motherfucker? I'm already not being I'm already not being compensated for my talents, so why should I give a fuck? I'm not gonna be monetized, so yeah, I'm willing to make the complaints. I'm willing to take the arrows. I think it's really funny about the gynocracy. And I'm not as nice as Mr. Z. I'm a little bit more ruthless, cutthroat, even. Sorry. Sorry. I'm a bit more, how you say, assholish. A bit more, quite a bit more. It's kind of funny how you ever notice that every chick dated a narcissist? Every chick dated a fucking asshole. But when you meet the chick, she's a narcissist. She's an asshole. She thinks a man should pay everything for her. She never talks about what she does for that man. Anybody ever notice that? I think it's really funny how so many times through so many live streams, so many podcasts, I like that. I really want to ask this question. I want to beg this question for women. What is a good man for you? Is it a guy who's a leader and you submit to his authority? Is that a good man for you? A guy who submit to his authority and he takes care of you, protects you? Because if we ask the question and we look at the evidence, the preponderance of it, there's something contrary to your statements. This is the reason why I titled it the way I titled it, because I put the same thing in Mr. Z's chat just a few minutes ago. I think it's hilarious. I'm sorry. People ask me about my code and my way of thinking. A lot of people get upset when I tell them my way of thinking. I'm sorry. I think that black men are taught not to respect themselves, and I think that black women put themselves on a much higher pedestal than they deserve. Sorry. This is the majority of them. You never see them pride themselves off of being ladylike. There's always a pride of being a man, getting up in a man's face, taking a man's kids away, telling a man the shit you're not gonna do, but never telling him what you're willing to do. And then, and only then, you have the audacity, the stark raving audacity to ask where all the good men go. What is this good man you speak of? That's poppycock. Does he exist? Nobody, every woman tells you what a good man is, but they never tell you what they're going to do to get him. Have you realized that? Are we up and at it with it, folks? I have yet to hear women tell me what they're going to do to get that man and then keep him. Morning. Whoo. Hey, B, what's up? Whoo. See, I'm the ugly side of Sears. Okay? Mr. Z is the nicer guy. Good cop, bad cop. I just want to take you through a journey of my mental trek, if you will. And I just had to ask a question because, a brother got to know. What are these qualities that you want? Because it more so says that you want an on point simp than a good man. Does that good man have the ability to check you? Does he have the ability to correct you? Does he have the ability to say no? And you're not going to pester him for the rest of his life about his decision to say no. I mean, I'm just curious. Shout out to Mojo for the $20 holla. Got to do it real big. Got to do a little salute to you, man. See if I even still got the damn thing. Little Gynocracy. Ho! Thank you for the $20 holla, brother. Oh yeah, the Rick Rude Funko Pop. Whoo! Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just want to ask this question. For all the ladies listening live and any of the ladies listening in the playback. What does it mean to have a good man? Have you ever had a good man? Or you had fucked up relationship after relationship after fucked up relationship? Because we have to duly note that the common denominator in all your relationships was you. You. You'll never hear a woman say, I fucked up my relationship. Either she's too old, either she's going to end up being too old to lie, and men just don't find her attractive in the least bit, or she's broken. Remember the video BGS played about the woman who lost 120 pounds and thought she was too cool for school and frivolously cheated, flagrantly cheated on her husband. Husband didn't even get mad. Left her, got her remarried, and he keeps it strictly business. And she wished she could have that man back. What's up, my brother from another mother? Aaron Neal. Almost 30 years of friendship. Woo! I'm just asking this question. Because one thing about men, if we fuck up, we'll admit it. As a matter of fact, if we fuck up, you're not going to let us forget it. Let's be quite honest right there. What's up, Snowman? Hopefully you and the family are doing better. Because every time I listen to a female from the age of 20 to 45, all these niggas are narcissists. And we still here in Baltimore. And I'm only asking real questions to real people. Well, these men can't take care of nobody. No, 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 no. Even the United States of America, who doesn't like to lose, had to admit black men are better fathers than anybody on the planet. They're more involved. They have their kids living with them more. They're more loving. They're more caring. Hell, statistically, black fathers raise better kids than single black mothers. They get damn near the same results as two-parent households. So what is it about these black men that you don't like? Oh, I get it. Because they're a stark reflection of what you hate the most. And that's called yourself. It's interesting, I know. The particulars are very, very interesting. Yeah, you're right, Passport OG. All of them are narcissists. He played a trap. He pretended to be somebody else. Well, sister, a narcissist by default thinks of themselves so highly they wouldn't change shit for anyone, especially not for you. So you didn't have a narcissist. I would believe you more if you would have used the word con artist, a deceiver. But you can't even get the definitions correct. So I know you're lying. But we'll go even further. If this guy was so bad and so trifling and so horrific, why did you give him a baby? People could say, wow, that's fucked up. No, no, let's be honest. You gave a guy, by your definition, a horrible man, the greatest gift you could give a man, and that's the genetic code being carried to the next generation. If he's that bad, if he's such a horrific person that you described him to be, I just want to point that out. With the rise of gas prices, housing, the lack of employment, now you want a man, not because of his character, and I do have to correct Mr. Z on this. Black men are not the backup plan for black women. Black men have been the insurance policy for black women. All you got to do is have a baby and cash out. That's all you have to do. Like, share, subscribe, click the cash app. Don't hurt. I've said it before. A lot of these ladies live in a lap of the delusional luxury in their brains. Here's the worst part about it. If you ever want to make money, just be where the single women are. There's no men to fix their tires or their cars. There's no men to tamp down the boys, so it's going to be crime ridden. So if you want to be a police officer, you're going to make some money because you're going to be locking their fucking children up day and night. If you're a maintenance guy or HVAC or some type of person who can rehab a home, you're going to make money because they don't take care of shit. If you have a store or business, they're going to constantly call you up because a lot of these new chicks, it's a damn shame. I know chicks as old as me can't cook a lick. Yep, check baby economy. And then here's the audacity, right? And I'm going to tell a little story about a friend of mine. I'm not going to give names because apparently I'm from the land of no snitching. But I will give you scenarios of the yin yang. A friend of mine showed me a picture of her daughter on the couch with her coat on, and she fell asleep waiting for her dad. Pretty fucked up picture, I know. She said she felt bad for her daughter. You know what makes it worse in this story? Is that she told me when she was together with the guy, he didn't really take care of his already at the time 16-year-old daughter. And this is prior to her getting pregnant. What makes it even more worse? This is the same chick who broke up with the motherfucker for a year and got back with him. See, we gotta start saying your guilt, shame, a need to be right, and narcissism does not take hold and effect of the people you think it does. These women don't want a better way. They want an excuse. That's all the fuck they really want. They don't want a better way. They just want an excuse. They want the ability to shut you the fuck up, but yet to criticize you. And I think that within itself is very disingenuous. It's okay to tell a black man that he's not enough for her. Shout out to electrician. Whoo, with the $20 holla. It's not even an excuse to hang out. It's an excuse to be acquitted of all her crimes against her community. Because if you think about it, right? How many women in our community are in human resources? The vast majority of people in human resources in our community are women. How many of them are putting brothers on with a job, a good job, even jobs that pay more than what they have, and they can actually get in a relationship with that guy and the guy can take care of them? But they don't think long term because of the narcissistic chip in their fucking heads. I've always said it. Men are the bodies of salvation, women are the keys of it. And when you do not give the keys to the man to save you, you're going to be in that lake with that weight drowning. All you have to do is give the power to that man, and he carries you. He takes the chains off that has him on a tree, jumps in that lake, and pulls you out, even with the weight on you. But no, you were indoctrinated to hate yourself, which means you hate your men. And fundamentally, that's what it's all about. Fundamentally, that's all it's all about. You can't make an excuse for me saying I hate women. I never had a problem getting women. Women actually find me charming when they speak with me. See, the fundamental part is we have an issue of having a savior complex. Not saying that we want to be the savior. We're looking for somebody to save us from ourselves. That's why. That's why. Think about this. If black people were in a horror movie, black women will be chased by said monster, falling and tripping over whatever debris on the ground. The said monster is about to strike or have a lethal blow. Out comes a black man about to save her, and she will actually have the audacity. Nah, you're not tall enough. You're not tall enough. Nah, he's a bus driver. And the monster's looking like he's got a gun or a knife and he could kill me and save you. Nah, I'd rather go to hell. You do know this guy is capable of saving you and taking care of you. Nah, he's not 6 feet tall or taller. He doesn't have enough swag. Nah, I'll wait for the next guy. I'm about to kill you now. I'll wait. But I'm about to torture you now. I can do bad all by myself. I know I say this in jest, but look how ridiculous it really is when you say it out loud in a scenario where she's in imminent danger. I want you to realize that, right? I want you to realize that. Nah. I want you to realize that there's so many ways you can help your men become better. I could do so much better. The perfect man for you was right there in that scenario. The man who could save you from imminent danger. He just drives a Hyundai. Nah, he looks like he knows where his birth certificate and social security card is. Nah, he looks responsible. Nah, he looks like he takes care of his kids. It gets worse and worse, folks. I'm really, I'm really wondering. At some point, we are gonna have to really sit back and explain to our children why we didn't take the better option. Why, when the better option was on the table, why didn't we take it? We're gonna have to explain that to our kids one day. Raven Knight said black women even made a love story movie. She fell in love with a Nazi from selling off us as slaves to swirl with Hitler to make cutie what was it? Cuties for Netflix. I mean, it's sad. There's a video circulating now where Israeli female soldiers are being nabbed and literally soiling themselves. Ish gets Ish can get real fast, of course. But this is what happens when you spent all these years being indoctrinated to hate the very men that are supposed to save your life. That even during times of trouble, you will reject the closest ally to you. I want you to realize this. Yep, I just read it. Israeli Palestinians conflict. Netanyahu declares war after Hamas attack. See, that's a united country, a sovereign state. And their men are going to protect their women. What happens if their men turn their backs on their women for being mistreated for decades? For decades. Actually, they said about 198 killed, almost 200. We are not living in times where women can walk out there alone. There are some dangerous and desperate people out there, folks. You don't even appreciate the people protecting you. This tells you how much of a gynocentric nature you had. A few weeks ago, almost a month ago, you had a lady lying on black men saying that they hit her with a brick just to finagle people's little heartstrings to gain some money. But not one person called her a scammer. Hello. Hello. Something's got to give. What happens when you're all alone, when you reject your men, but you do all this just to keep him in his place? What's the old saying? I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. Look at what's going on in Israel. You think what happens to one country doesn't affect others? I'm a product of what happens. I was sent to a war zone, lest many have forgotten. I don't speak on this shit like I'm talking out the crack of my ass. It is not cool to have no allies. And you're the only ones who think that this fucking independent, gynocentric, feminist bullshit that you've been fed since birth is going to save you. It's counterproductive at best. You say that you're not protected, but look what you do. You put yourself in the line of fire. I don't understand why would a person who's so-called not protected put themselves in the line of fire. You argue with men. You go into shady places wearing the most scandalous of clothes by yourself. You'll make lies. You're right, Snowman. Can grab a quick 40K, making a lie, but can't help a damn cancer survivor. But somewhere, somehow, somebody's gonna say, "Oh, you just hate women. You're heartbroken." You know what? Let's tell the truth for once. Who broke our hearts? It was you, motherfucker. You wonder why black men can't trust you? It was you. You wonder why black men don't want to be married? It's you. Blame his mother. Blame his aunts. Blame his sister. Blame his grandmother. Blame the women of his community. I had to tell that to an ex girlfriend of mine, worrying about her son dating a white girl. But you never said, why didn't we bring a better product for my son to date in the first place? Hello. Not one goddamn time. Not one time. Nobody ever thought about this. I'm tired of people saying, "Who hurt you?" It's you. Well, that's not all women. Show me the ones that aren't. I have yet to see somebody who does that. You're mad if a person goes out of their culture or out of their race. Is it you're mad because they found better? They now can lie down in green pastures. They can have a peace of mind. Or you're just mad because he didn't stick around with your miserable ass so you can yell at him all day. Hit the Cash App, folks. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. They're about to have full-fledged war in the goddamn Middle East. Who the fuck wants to go to war right now in such a world economy that we're in right now? You think you're better than somebody because you were fortunate to get a job that you took from a man, by the way. I'm just going to put it out there. Because they set aside certain bullshit so you can undermine your own damn men and have the fucking audacity. And I mean the fucking audacity to talk shit about him when you know there's a fucking advantage you have over your man. You know you got advantages over your man. How many times you been in a relationship and you get in an argument with your lady and she threatened to call the police and lie and say you hit her? That's called knowing you have an advantage. Threatening to leave a guy because he didn't do what you wanted to do or give you money to say you're going to keep his kid away from him. You're going to call the white man on him. Think about this. If something happens in America, God forbid it does not, give black men one reason they should stick around with you. Give them one. And don't give me because we're black. How do you respect and treat black men? Determines how you should be protected. I'm not preaching any violence against women because I'm the first person to tell you the wrath of God is not God waiting up in the clouds about to throw a Nolan Ryan fastball with a thunderbolt. No. All he got to do was just keep you out of his protection. All he got to do was just turn his back on you. What did Batman say to Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins? I don't got to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. You just heard Mr. Z talk about the divestors, and that is true. Anytime you have a failed divester, they become the second coming of Shaka Zulu. They become the most pro-black. But if you go inside their history, You notice they didn't date black men. They talked shit about them until they saw how destructive white men were towards them. What's up, Art New Style, teacher extraordinaire? And I said this years ago, about 4 years ago, when I first was doing live streams, which is even funnier because when I first did live streams, I had more people watching. Go figure. When I first was actually putting up content, and I had a little bit of a difference of agreement with Cerulean Gray. And he said, well, these brothers are just, y'all just worried about that if whoever black man fucks or procreate. Shout out to AB for the $5 holla. And I told him, no. Fuck us. A real definition of what black women think of black men is how they treat their sons. How do you treat their sons? And he couldn't say nothing after that. Who cares who they fuck? We never had control of that shit in the first place. Let's just get that shit out the way. We never could stop. Two things you couldn't stop a black woman from doing: working and fucking. But what happened to those boys that she's supposed to raise and give birth to? Who she gave birth to and raised? Why are your boys, who you took away from their fathers, who you isolated from their dads, are failing? LAPD SWAT, they are hell bent of destroying the future warrior class. And this is not just, oh, you hate black women, you hate the gynocracy. No. This is socio-economic. Because last time I checked, men still make more money than women, even in our community. Contrary to popular belief, we still we still do the more difficult, dangerous jobs that tend to pay more. So, what happens? What happens when your sons are not contributing to the system? What happens when your sons cannot strap up, boot up, and protect the system? It becomes atrophy and dies a very painful death. But this is what you chose. You chose perpetual poverty over generational wealth. You said, fuck whatever that nigga says, I'ma do me. And in retrospect, right? All the fucking money you will require through your pensions, your 401ks, that you don't have kids, you don't have a husband to maximize your money, goes right back into the state and the system. So you made them double, if not quadruple, their fucking money. And I dare one person today to challenge me on that bullshit. I'm daring you. No, you're just showing hatred. No, I'm not. If I could tell a guy he ain't shit, then guess what I'm gonna do for the female? He ain't shit. Here it is. Parts of the world are about to join a gigantic fight. And you can't even get along with your men. You don't even have a clue. A ruble's worth of a goddamn cellular thought. Not one electrode going through your fucking brain on how to get along with your men. I want you to think about this. If black men are more successful at getting married, and there's more married black men than black women, but black women claim they can't find a good man, who is the fault on? The men or the women? This world is a very nasty and dark place. This is a place you're not going to go too far without a protector. The worst thing a mother can do is pick a horrible father for her children. A man can go to jail, rob a bank, go to jail. He's pretty much going to affect himself and maybe a few people in his inner circle. A woman fucks up, she could fuck up the next 3 to 4, maybe even 5 generations. I really want you to think about that. You got shit that's going on in this world, and we still got women who think they're independent. This is how shielded and protected you are that you don't even understand how the shit that just happened in Israel can affect you. I'm going to ask this one question. Should a man even believe his own women when they have done nothing but historically defecated on him? Of course, we know it's not all black women, but the culture of black, are the men preferred? Are the men exalted? And the answer is no. You say we're not shit, but you get upset when we find places where we are the shit. Why? Why? You know why? Because you have nobody else checking it out for you. You don't think you need to compete for your man. You don't trust your man. You try to undermine your man You steal his kids away from him. You try to demoralize your man. All from what? All for what? All for what? All for what? The man down under. Woo! Dr. Thunder. How you feeling, bro? For what? And then when you try to do things for a black man, it's suspect. Though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, though I offer my body to be burned, if I do it without charity, it profits me nothing. Isn't that right, Dr. Thunder? If I don't do it with my heart, it profits me nothing. That's a Bible verse. I forget the Bible verse. That's a Bible verse, people. Why? I've asked this question. Why? Why? Why should we still be here even if you do things for us? It's not out of the kindness and goodness of your heart. The good book says there's no greater love than a man lay up down his life for his friends. And we're okay with that. But you can't return the favor. I've said this in my protection protocols. The first rule of protection is obedience. The second rule is that protection costs. Do you know what protection? You know what the cost of protection is? It's called devotion. It's called dedication. Are black men in droves getting that? And the answer is fundamentally no. So why? I can't even speak on behalf of black women to convince black men to stay and deal with you because I'm going to look like a fundamental idiot. I think somebody needs to just say it. Every time a black guy tries to say, hey, you should date these sisters, and then we get another case of someone getting their lives ruined just for being spiteful, taking their children from them, isolating them. Do you know how many broken men have to be sewn back together, stitch by stitch, from the black manosphere? Somebody take a guess. Do you know that it's black men who have to shake a black man from killing himself? Do you know how many lives we saved? And there's so many that we could have saved if they even knew of this space. Why do you think I always ask brothers, just give me one more day? Just give me one more day. You can probably hear the sorrow and pain in my voice right now. But we can't even get our women to appreciate black men for who they are, who they were, and who they will be. LAPD SWAT said Apply the basic principles of warfare. Cut the supplying lives. Pale the lib in the government and the preacher man. Pale libs. I mean, really. I want you to think about this. No army is greater than its supply chain. There's an old saying in the army: the army moves on its belly. You don't feed your soldiers. You don't give your soldiers ammo. You don't give them clothing. You don't give them logistics. War's over. It was over before it began. But these are the same people that says we got to be tough enough and man enough to fight white supremacy. I got to fight the evils of the world. I got to fight racism, white supremacy itself, and look it eye to eye and come back home to its best mistress. Oh, you never thought that, right? The greatest sleeper agent of white supremacy was our so-called women. You joined feminism. You allow white women who had a better spot at the table than you to undermine you and your man. Exactly, Indigo. Fight white supremacy, but we don't want to nourish you. Mm, mm. We're on the brink of a possible world war. But yet we can't even get you to cooperate. We can't even get our women just to be a little bit nicer, just to be a little bit more cordial. You're right, LaShawn. She don't need a man. LJA504 HD. What's up, bro? I want you to really think about this. Can women in today's world really afford not to be with a man? There's this old church thing where you had to come into church with your head covered. Who's covering yours? It's an old tradition. Zaddy's turned his back. It's like a friend of mine, the same one with the daughter who was on the couch. She took the guy to child support, get $1,200 a month for one child, which is funny. Do you know how expensive it is to raise a child? Then why the fuck did you have him? Did you have the girl? I know you love your daughter, but didn't you think about this prior to getting pregnant? There's a lot of women out there buying engagement rings for niggas who don't want to be with them just to say I was engaged. Y'all not even proud to be married, just to be engaged. And you're having engagement parties not to facilitate a marriage, but just to be seen. I want you to think about that. Just to be seen. But nobody cares about you, black man. You were a brute and a monster anyway. Detroit 313 stated, well, remember, Paris Milan said black men didn't fight wars on any fought in any wars. Next time you speak to Paris Milan or you see her panels pop up, tell her she needs to come over here and say that to me live and in living color. Tell that dumb bitch, and I do mean dumb bitch, not to insult her, but to call her by her proper title, to come over here and tell me that when I went to Iraq for 18 months, I was at a fucking resort. When I had to go to Fallujah to rescue Marines, that was a fucking resort, right? When I had to rescue villagers, that was a resort, right? When we did building and night raids, that was fun, huh? Tell her that shit. Tell her come over here. Say that to me. Well, that is true too, Calvin. Black men are tired. At some point, what happens when black men are tired of being the garbage men of the dating world? We have a long stretch of this bullshit like it's the goddamn One Piece manga. You know, the manga that's not ending anytime soon. What happens when your man checks out? What happens when he agrees with you and says, you know what? You're right. I'm not shit. I'm going to go somewhere else where I am. How many times are you going to lie to your people and they figure out it was never the men, it was you? There are so many guys I personally know who had to go through strife with their child's mother. One guy in the police department I knew, he saw his son at 1 or 2 months and didn't see him again until he was what? Almost a year old. He had to fight through court, not only to see his child, but also to keep his career as an officer because of lies that were made up and conspired against him. I'm going to ask this question. Should we trust you? Should we trust you? Should we trust you? Give us one reason why we should trust you. You were never loyal. Oh, yeah, let's talk about Miss Williams. You know, the detractor who said Kevin Samuels didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, but now she's using his rhetoric. You notice how many females like Kendra G and Ebony K. Williams who swore up and down Kevin was a bullshitting, lying, snake oil selling motherfucker. But look what happens when they had to face the reality of what black men see every goddamn day of their lives. I want you to think about that. Now that the tables have turned for Miss Ebony and she had to tell the truth and shame the devil that she wasted her fucking life trying to pursue fame, money, but the one thing that always eluded her was the championship ring, Charles Barkley, was a man and a family. You claimed that you were married and you divorced your ex-husband, who nobody has any proof that you were married. I'm just going to leave that there for another time and episode. But you had to admit to the whole world this one thing. I fucked up. You hear me? I fucked up. I am not the successful woman you think I am on TV. You see her for about an hour or two. The other 22, she's probably crying herself to sleep. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you how miserable a lot of these single women who are well off are crying themselves to sleep. They don't tell you how many guys they gave up relationships on for the love of money, and then see those same men happily married or happily about to get married or in relationships with children. And that could have, we had an old saying back in the day in Baltimore, the Maryland lottery, it could be you. What did they say? I could have been a contender. You ain't never lying about that. She's biting off of fucking Kevin Samuels. Yep, you're right. It's Jermaine's fault. But you have the blood of your kids on your chest in that saying, it's Jermaine's fault. Fuck whatever I did, it's his fault. You want to throw the rock and hide your hand. Or in that case, sling the kid and hide your hand and blame him. Shout out to Dr. Tiason Johnson coming up with the phrase of the gynopatestrial network. But anytime you see anything gynocratic, you see nothing but plague, destruction, the de-evolution of the black community, the degradation of morality. You don't see them raising successful children. If a single mom has successful children, that's a goddamn miracle. And most of the times, that successful child has to prick the mother back up because she couldn't afford to do shit for that boy, especially if it's a boy. The only time you get a piece of fucking acknowledgement is if you could either run a ball 100 yards or put the ball through the hoop. And then everybody's on your fucking dick like some new drawers. But when it came investing into your education, oh, you got to do that yourself. How many times you hear chicks get child support and invest in a tutor? We'll pay $2,000 for an AAU basketball league, but can't afford to pay $50 a day for that boy to get a tutor to fucking get him through the fucking school. If a black boy becomes successful, 9 times out of 10 is probably not because of his mother. It's because of willpower. There, I said it. I don't give a fuck if people don't like what I just said either. You act like I haven't lived in the same black community. If you have a mother that really invests in time in you, you are fucking blessed. You hear me? You are blessed beyond comprehension. Because 9 times out of 10, she's probably too busy waiting to throw you out as soon as you're 17, and in 11 months, she's already got your bags packed so she can live her best life. Thank you. You could go to a tutor, hit a guy up $20 an hour, and they could teach a kid. These are the same group of women out there today, these modern fucking women, who don't even want to uphold mandatory blood tests DNA test when they give birth to children. Why? Because you already know why. Because you're fucked up. Because you're disloyal. You're disingenuous and dishonest. Exactly. So already, Mr. Shug, you know I'm telling what the fuck the truth is. Yo, hit that Cash App, hit that like button. See, it's funny, right? It's funny. You're in the midst of a possible global fucking war, and you don't even want to invest in your boys. You don't even want to invest in the people who are supposed to protect you. Something happens in the community. Where are all these strong, independent women? I'm gonna say it again for the niggas in the back, you know, joking and laughing, playing with paper airplanes, passing around goddamn notes that says, "Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe so." Where are all these strong, independent women when crime goes afoot in the community? Where are they? Why aren't they forming Captain Gynocratic? Where's Captain Gynocrat when you need her? Where's the strong, independent woman? Where's the backbone of the community? Oh, I forgot. The backbone of the community has scoliosis. The backbone of the community has MS. The backbone of the community has calcium deficiency. But maybe, just maybe, you really don't speak about the so-called criminals because you gave birth to them. You raised them. You mistreated them. Ask me how I know. Maybe the community is a damn cesspool. You don't want to be married. You don't want a man to rule over you. You'd rather be the queen of hell than the servant of heaven. You don't want to admit how destructive you are. You don't want to admit how chaotic your nature truly is. Oh yeah, D. Scott. You know the sound of a torch when it hits a cigar. As the old saying, as my drill sergeant used to say in Fort Benning, Georgia, smoke 'em if you got 'em, and baby, I got you. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, and baby, I got you. It's trifling, but yet hilarious, humorous, if you will, comedic even, that the same damn rhetoric 40 years ago, 40 plus years ago when I was born, 41 to be exact, that my father heard, I'm still hearing today. Sorry to hear that, Snowman. Keep your head up, bro. And that's right, Jesse. That child is successful in spite of her, not because of her. How many of us been in a house where your own damn mother says you ain't gonna be shit like your daddy? No, you didn't mess up. Bad times happen to everybody. Bad times sure as hell don't last, but badass motherfuckers do. Remember that, Snowman. Don't give up. We got you. Everybody tells me the black manosphere is nothing. And people tell me all the time the black manosphere a bunch of black woman haters. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're just black men trying to make sure that we're not insane, trying to make sure we don't hurt ourselves. People forget this, and I have to remind so many people. The purpose of the black manosphere was the first thing that we had to do was convince everybody to make sure we were not crazy. See, nobody gives a fuck about a black man and what they got to say, what they got to go through. I've said it once and I say it again. A black man can't have a bad day. A black man can't have a bad day. He's always got to be on point. In our community, you ain't a man until you give up everything to supply a woman. Black man can literally offer his body to save his family, and they'll put Big Mama's fucking picture up there. It was Big Mama who saved the fucking family. It was Big Mama who got the house. Nobody ever thanked great granddaddy for going to fucking war. Nobody ever said, "Hey, Dad, I appreciate you busting your ass for 16 hours a day." Nobody cares about the plight. In the black community, we go by one rule and one rule only. What have you done for me lately? Nobody gives a fuck if a black man cries. Nobody gives a fuck if a black man's in pain. Nobody gives a fuck if a black man misses kids. Nobody gives a fuck if a black man earns a fucking dollar. Nobody gives a fuck if a black man even has a house to walk into. If he's got to live in a car, and that's if he's lucky. And sometimes you got to live in a park bench underneath a fucking parker just to keep fucking warm. And when he goes through something, people have the fucking audacity to tell you to man up and pull yourself by your fucking bootstraps when you're barefoot. How the fuck can I pull myself by my bootstraps and I don't have any shoes on? And many of us barely even have socks. I want you to think about that. We got a bunch of women who wants us to battle white supremacy to be the sacrificial lamb, and all we get in return is their content. That's all we get. That's all we get. That's all we get. No, snowman, you're not a failure. Never have been, never will be. Get that shit out your mind now. You're one of the best men I know. You're one of the few men I know who can actually beat cancer. You're one of the few men I know who tries his best, even though the body may not be as always willing. People that tell you black men are insufficient. If it wasn't for black men, guess who'd be taking the brunt of white supremacy and all their racism? Sometimes I tell you, man, I'll say this to be even exact for some of my detractors. I'm so above hating black women that it would be a waste of my time to do so. I actually pity them. And this is why. What happens when all the black men don't even say anything about you anymore? Don't even want to deal with you. No bother. They rather get their house, get their apartment, buy a nice TV, buy a nice gaming chair, get a game system, get some weights, and say, "No, chick, you're not even worth it anymore. Leave me alone. It's too dangerous." What happens when we stop talking? You know what's worse than the wall of silence? The wall of indifference. I've said this long ago. A piece of mind is better than a piece of ass any day of the week. What happens if that guy said, "Nah, I'd rather have a V8"? No, black man, you're not a failure. Never have been, never will be. We couldn't fail if we tried. Are we gonna have obstacles? You sure as hell we are. You sure as hell. You sure as hell are gonna have obstacles. Sure as hell gonna have obstacles. It's never been easy. Not one person ever. Not one black man ever had it easy since we stepped on the shores of this bitch. I bet you there's some broad on YouTube who can get about 100 to 300, 400 people watching it right now who'll blame the shit in Israel and said it was black men's fault. Somehow they're going to convince the world that it was a black man's fault. Always outgunned? Nah. I'll say this, always outmanned, never outgunned, definitely never outclassed. Exactly. But it's our fault though. Somehow I bet $1 to everybody here that somebody's going to try to make it. See, but black men couldn't protect us. I want you to think about this. And definitely. And I'm going to say this for Snowman. Everybody here, please subscribe to Snowman's channel. Especially if you like your morning sports. Instead of giving it to those fucking major, instead of giving attention and subscriptions to major networks, give it to a brother who needs it. Give it to a brother who's passionate about sports. Give it to a brother who has a talent of calling great games, talking about current and past sports legends and all stars. Subscribe to his channel. We should have at least 45, 85, 105 people watching them. It's sports, goddammit. But what did we figure out? He's going to give you good insight about the current guys and the heroes of yesteryear. You want to save a man's life? You want to give a man renewed energy? Support that man. There should be 100 motherfuckers every time he boots up. It's sports. And yes, I'm going to give you a piece of advice to bring more numbers to your channel. And I did it. I tested the waters. Snowman cut up some of your your funniest segments for about a minute long and put them in shorts. And you'll get more eyes on your shit, which will create more asses and seats just to listen to you. I tested the theory. Hell, I had to do the angry man approach. Had to do the angry man approach. Look what happened to Angry Man. He started focusing on his shorts. Boom. He grew in numbers. You got to do the shorts, especially when you have that hilarious like bronze sexual shit. That shit is hilarious. 60-minute shorts, man. 60-second shorts will boost the fuck out of your channel, man. I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. Can a black man ever have a bad day? Black man can give you the sun, the moon, and the stars, and she still wants the rings of Saturn. Everybody who's not subscribed to the Snowman, right fucking now, subscribe. When he boots up, I want to see motherfuckers there. Listen to him call again. Stop giving these major networks your attention and your money. Give it to a brother who will give you something better, with better quality, better conversation, unbiased, unapologetic, real sports. You want to spend your dollar listening to a game? Listen to a black man call it. How many black commentators do we have? Think of one. You want to have some sports talks and trivia? You want to have some debates of who was the greatest running back, quarterback, whatever? Go to the Snowman channel. Like right there. Tonight. Go to the Snowman's channel to listen to Kentucky and Georgia. Support the man. If you want to watch it visually, do yourself a favor. Turn the TV on, mute it, and listen to Snowman call it. And tell me it is not quality. Tell me it's going to be better quality than the motherfuckers who telling you what it is on television. Do yourself that favor. Support. This is the reason why we have a black manosphere. It's not to sit around just to be about a fucking gynocracy. It's to keep black men alive. I said it. It's to keep black men alive. To keep them with some hope. To renew their faith in the world. To give them some strength. We don't have batteries in our backs. We're all we got. But oh, I bet you not one motherfucker will ever repeat what I said. Not one detractor will ever repeat what I said. Our mission is to keep black men alive and hopeful. Just give us one more day. Give us one more day. You ain't even got your women fucking supporting you, man. Even back in the day, a sister 30 years ago would give you a plate. See you out there cutting grass. And at least give you a cup of lemonade or something. At least back then, even if there was a gynocracy, at least you appreciate it. At least alive. At least renewed. I mean, that's some shit, man. That's some shit. See, I'm going to tell a little secret. To all the subscribers and viewers, you do know you are the blood and the life system. You do know you are the cardiovascular system of the manosphere. The more people you share it to, the more eyeballs you get to the space. The more we can speak on your behalf, the more people we can touch, the more we can actually quit our jobs and be supported by you. The more we get things changed in society. Look what the hell Kevin was able to accomplish in 2 short years. Just look. Just by him reaching 1 million people and they reach their people, look how much we changed the world. Look how many laws are being changed in the favor of men again. Not even just the favor of men, just being fair to everybody. You are the cardiovascular system. You are the blood and heart of this shit. Without you supporting, there is no voice. There is no black male media. Do you realize that? This is why it's so pertinent for you to support. This is the reason why there are so many people who need to hear this. I don't give a damn if you're a Christian. I don't give a damn if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're Jewish, if you're Buddhist, Confucianist, Shinto, whatever. Hindu, it does not matter. As we all know about the circular system, the blood takes the oxygen and the nutrients to the body. That's why it's so important for you to keep pumping. It's so important for you to support. Not even just on a political or an economic point. There are so many men who are without hope, without strength, without faith, without substance. And just one thing at one good time somebody heard can renew them. Keep them from making a mistake that would either cost them their life or someone else's. There's something about it when you have the support of your family and your brothers. Everybody's going to go through a bad day, but everybody doesn't have to go through it alone. There is strength in numbers. It's amazing when somebody has a little bit of faith in you. And this goes back to the gynocracy. You want your men to do something for you? Have faith in them. Support them. You should do it with charity. You should do it with kindness. Let's even just say it like I said to Cerulean. Fuck all that. Fuck the mating and dating. What are you supporting your own sons? Your own grandsons? Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. How many of you out there saw your sons getting mistreated, miseducated, incarcerated, denied employment, denied medical treatment, denied supplemental nourishment, and you sat there and said nothing? But you reaped your benefits. You did nothing. I give you this paradox that always plagues me. What is worse, the person who puts me through my strife, or the person who sees me going through strife and has the ability to help me and stays quiet and does nothing? Who's worse? You damn right. Snowman said the greatest gift you could give to a man is your belief in him. We don't always have to struggle. We don't always have to have tragedy, but we need strength, and we do at some point need to triumph. Small victories, man. Small victories. I'll take those small victories day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. Small ones. Till I lead up to a great win of a battle. More than ever before, to the sound of everyone listening to my voice, we are going to have to support each other. We are going to have to be each other's strength, backbone. We are going to have to support each other. As you can see, we're all we got. It's been that way for a very long time, black man and black woman. Because we do have some very great black female supporters. Not going to lie to you about that shit. There are some. Once again, we're all we got. Our lifeline is on the line. Our way of life for our children is on the line. What happens now in the black manosphere can have ripple effects through years, if not decades later. It's time to go conquer new territory. Black men, we had Manosphere 1.0 to get the talking points out. Manosphere 2.0 is when we had the debates. When we went toe to toe against the Gynocracy and won numerous debates and battles. Manosphere 3.0 is when the intellectuals, the PhDs came to solidify and to give validity to what we were saying. Coming up is soon to be Manosphere 4.0, where we're going to have sit downs and try to gain political and economic power. You heard it here first. That's the goal, and that should be the goal of Manosphere 4.0, to gain footholds in politics and economics. Give me a woo if you with me with that one. Manosphere 4.0 is about political footholds and economic power. Woo! You want economic power? Give me my children so I can raise them properly. Your son can't get a job? Support my company where I could train him and give him a job. Hire me to hire your kid. We're no longer going to beg for a seat at the table. We're going to take the seat at the table or kick that motherfucker over. Manosphere 4.0, I don't know if it's today, I don't know if it's tomorrow, but Manosphere 4.0 is about political power and economic strongholds. You heard it here first. That is the goal. If today marks the day of Manosphere 4.0, you heard me say that shit first. It's about the political power and the economic power. We need to sit down with our elected officials and not be afraid. We should be as bold as a lion. What we tell them what we need to restore our faith in society. We tell them what we need to raise proper children. We tell them you better invest in our boys just as much as you do our girls when it comes to their education, when it comes to their placement. We're no longer on our knees begging. No, sir. We're going to be with our heads up high, our teeth baring, our claws about to strike. There's only two ways on it. You either come victorious with your spear in the air, or you come back giving all you got on your shield. Fuck all that. I ain't begging for shit. I'm demanding shit. And that's what I said, LAPD SWAT. We need to start pulling our resources together and buying our politicians. Everybody else does it. When it comes to politics, you got to buy loyalty. Manosphere 4.0, we play by everybody else's rules and we win. If we got to pull up resources, fuck this. Black men, get over your fucking issues with working together. This ain't about you. This is about our goddamn future. This is about our boys. This is about survival. There is no you without me, and there is no me without you. This ain't about petty beefs. We elevated from that years ago. This ain't about just talking points. This is about living the factual, structural truth. This is about your survival. You were in a fight just to fucking exist at this point. I've said it. Do I need to say it again for the Negroes in the back? This is about your goddamn survival, black man. If you go out there every time you leave your home and don't act like your ass don't have to feed a family, then something's fucking wrong with you. You better go out there with the courage of a goddamn lion and 10 times as ferocious. We've already been the gentle lamb. Fuck all that. Kick that table over. It's lion time. Sure will. It's about time. To go get what the fuck is ours. It's about time to put our money where our mouth is, to put our support, to put our time and our effort where it's needed. More and more, we're going to focus on political shit. The Gynocrats already got their fucking harpies. It's about time the Black Manosphere start and get their hounds of war. We got the intellectuals. The next we need are the economics and the politicians. We start local, build up to the state, and then destination federal. Let me give you basic military science 101. You think big, but start small. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we gonna learn how to dominate that motherfucker. At the end of the day, we're not worried about if people like us anymore. We ain't worried about being politically correct. We're not worried about being PC. We're not worried about agendas but our fucking own. As the old saying goes, if it don't make dollars, it sure as hell won't make sense. We're done begging. We're done pleading. We're done that shit. We don't need that anymore. You're right, LaShawn. PC is going to stand for piss clearly. Piss clearly. Oh yeah, you make sure you have their fucking shit on a local thing. You make sure of that shit. You hold them by their nut sacks. You always carry a little black briefcase, a manila envelope, but you also put that shit on backup computers as well. Hopefully that galvanized enough people on a Saturday. But if today's the day we officially call out Manosphere 4.0, so be it. It's time for us to support each other and get what the fuck we need. No man left behind is the new slogan for Manosphere 4.0. No man left behind. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy your Saturday and your weekend. Woo! Thank you for the support. Thank you for the viewership. Please share this with your friends. And we out.
Woo!